Well, definitely time for us to check out what's happening on this side of the moment in current affairs. It's exactly 20 minutes after 9 a.m. We are live on Facebook as well as our YouTube channel. That is Keith Ngesi Radio on all respective platforms. Check us out as well on www.keithngesi.radio.com as well as on our mobile app. Just download the mobile app from our Google Play or from the Google Play store, and that's where you can find us so that you never miss out on a single moment of radio according to you. We are extraterrestrial. As it begins, the City of Tshwane Mayor Randall Williams has commended the police in the Metro Police Drug Unit for apprehending 11 Nigerian nationals for dealing with drugs. The drug bust was made in Pretoria East on Sunday evening, the 9th of October. The suspects are aged between 31 and 50 and were allegedly found in possession of packaging of Nyawupe at a house in Garsfontein. All the drugs that were seized are said to have a street value of 680,000 rand. The drug unit reportedly received a tip-off about the drugs that were going to be delivered to Pierre van Reineveld in Centurion. Now, Williams said an operation was immediately initiated and that during the stakeout, a male suspect arrived to deliver the drugs and he was arrested on the spot. The Nigerian male suspect then led the officers to two properties that he owns, one in Pierre van Reineveld, where the drugs were found, and another one in Garsfontein, where officers found 10 more Nigerian nationals packaging the drugs. It is important that we all work together to ensure that Tshwane does not become a capital city for Nyaupe and other substances, Randall Williams said. All the suspects were detained at Garsfontein police station. The incident comes after a 52-year-old alleged drug mule from Johannesburg was intercepted at King Shaka International Airport recently, where 6.38 kilograms of cocaine and a street value of 2.2 million rand was found concealed in his bag. Law enforcement working very hard to try to curtail some of the serious issues that we are being faced with. Police and Prison Civil Rights Union Western Cape chair said wardens are not being treated fairly or adequately remunerated for the vital services that they provide. About 150 wardens, prison wardens, stood shoulder to shoulder along the road outside Paulsmoor Prison in Tokai, Cape Town on Tuesday. The workers, supported by the police and prison civil rights union POP crew, are demanding better wages and working conditions. Many held up placards which read "Increase staff complement" and printed photos of Correctional Services Minister Ronald Lamola with his caption, "Minister Lamola, you can work 8 hours every day for 11 days without rest." Now, Conway Flink, Western Cape Provincial Chairperson of POP Crew, said the wardens provide an essential service, but were not being paid adequately. The poor working conditions reported by the wardens included drinking dirty water at the facility. Many of them experienced stomach problems. Flink said the workers want the department to test and purify the contaminated water. He said they also want more wardens to be hired to help deal with the overcrowding and crime at the prison. They also took issue with a new shift system from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., which was implemented 2 months ago. Flink said this leaves wardens exhausted. 24 minutes now after 9 a.m. Russian President Vladimir Putin speaks at the plenary session of the Russian Energy Week International Forum in Moscow on the 12th of October this month and said, Russia is ready to deliver additional volumes of natural gas to the European Union in the autumn to winter period, President Putin said. One of the two branches of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline has survived a recent leak incident, and Russia is willing to send gas through to Europe, Putin said at the plenary session in Russian Energy Week. Its capacity is 27.5 billion cubic meters per year, which is about 8% of all gas imports of Europe. Russia is ready to start such deliveries. The ball is on the side of the European Union, he said. Russia could also transfer the lost volumes through to the Nord Stream pipelines to the Black Sea region and create key supply routes to Europe through Turkey. If, of course, our partners are interested in this, he added. Chess, not checkers, I would say. Eldorado Park community leaders on Wednesday moved to ban hookah pipes in the area's spaza shops. Leaders of the El Dorado Park community, who have been camping in tents outside the El Dorado Park police station for 31 days in protest against gun violence and drug abuse in the area, on Wednesday announced a ban on hookah pipes. The ban will be effective as of the 1st of November, but prior to the 1st of November, each and every shop will get a notification. Buying a hookah pipe is not illegal, but they are often used to smoke illicit substances. One of the many posters El Dorado Park Gauteng residents have been using is to question high crime rates in their area. We have a task team together with the SAPS and JMPD that will go around the shops and make sure that they are not selling hookah pipes. If we find anything there, they will be fined, Duarte said. The proposal came as a result of rampant increase in the minor children under the age of 18 and misusing hookah pipes to smoke various substances, mainly dacha, and an earlier statement released by the community leadership on Wednesday said. As we continue, it is 26 minutes after 9 a.m. Former Post Office CEO Mark Barnes says he regrets resigning from the job. He resigned in 2019 after just over 3 years at the helm. Talking to JJ Tabane on Power to Truth, Barnes said when government was making changes, he should have stayed and fought for what he believed in. He says, I saw a world driven by centralized data system where every counter at the post office was a channel between the state and the people of South Africa. They came to me one morning and said they are going to take away the bank, and I said no. I shouldn't have resigned. I should have stayed there and fought. I regret that. Congratulations to the residents of Sea Point. You now officially live in the 38th coolest neighborhood in the world. That's according to Time Out magazine anyway, who have lavishly praised the popular Cape Town hotspot. The world-renowned travel experts don't give these accolades away easily. To be in the running, you need some unique selling points and a few jaw-dropping sites. Sea Point has both in abundance. Contributor Yazid Kamaldeen is too happy to wax lyric about them. Sea Point in Cape Town's coolest beachfront face, an oceanside suburb heaving in quirky local businesses with an enviable transport links to nearby beaches like Clifton and Camps Bay. It's also a mix of families, young professionals, creatives, and immigrant communities. Sea Point is known throughout Cape Town for its spine-tingling sunset views on its 7-mile beach road promenade, and for the Regent Street, the neighborhood's main road, which boasts a hub of hotels and lip-smackingly diverse food options. Congratulations, Sea Point, putting South Africa on the map once again. Love it when you hear a great story like that. Gladys Mokhotu, who's 55 years old, a Limpopo street vendor, cried in despair as other women around her watched in horror while she unwrapped the umbilical cord from the neck of a baby boy outside the gates of a closed clinic. The crowd would squirm at every turn of her hand around the baby's neck as she tried to save the infant who had been born outside the gates of the Burgersfort clinic, while nurses apparently refused to come out to help, claiming that their shift had not yet begun. These seeds play themselves out around 6:30 a.m. on Tuesday, about 30 minutes before the clinic's official opening time. The incident is being investigated by the Provincial Health Department after a video capturing parts of the event went viral on social media. The department has also explained that the facility opens at 7 a.m. and the 24-hour services it used to provide were halted 2 years ago as staff on night shift faced attacks from criminals. On Tuesday, Mokhoto, who has been trading outside the clinic for years, was preparing her stall to sell fed cooks to patients at 6 a.m. when her instincts called into action. What happened appeared to be a normal day at work, ended with Mokhoto helping 27-year-old Tando Pasha, who delivered her second child. Mokhoto said she heard commotion and asked her son to go and check what was happening at the gate. On his return, he said a woman was giving birth near the gate. 30 minutes now exactly after 9 a.m. Hammanskraal residents have mixed feelings about the Tshwane Council adopting the forensic report on the Rooiwal water treatment plant this week. While some are optimistic that those actions caused by the community caused untold harm over many years will be held accountable over fears that this might be a political gimmick ahead of the 2024 elections. The report provides for the possible arrest and internal disciplinary action against staff members involved in a tender process that led to nearly 300 million rand allocated for a project to provide clean water to Hammanskraal residents being unaccounted for. Hammanskraal residents who have been subjected to unhygienic water for more than 2 decades are hopeful that the outcomes of the meeting will be positive. Chairperson of the Hammanskraal Residents Forum, Tumelo Khoiteng, praised the community's continuous activism for making the municipality finally take action on the report. Khoiteng said the failure of the Royalval wastewater treatment plant to work optimally had caused untreated sewage to spill into the Apis River, which in turn makes water to the treatment plant, and it puts dirty water into the supply that people use. The South African Social Security Agency, or SASSA for short, says it has suffered major financial losses due to fraud, with wealthy people who earn millions benefiting from social relief of distress grants. The agent of the Department of Social Development on Wednesday briefed Parliament on annual reports on auditing, and SASSA officials told Parliament that the agency was facing a number of challenges and also received an unqualified audit opinion from the Auditor General. SASSA CEO Busisiwe Memela Kambula told MPs that the agency was grappling with a lot of fraud centered around the old age and disability grant. She said that there were 16 million fraudulent applications, including recipients of government tenders. SASSA told MPs that it was in the process of developing a fraud detection system. The agency said it had managed to identify people working in collusion with SASSA officials to apply for disability and old age grants fraudulently. Finally, and further afield in our beautiful but sometimes troubled continent of Africa, we look and see what we can find out in Sudan. It's back to school time, but 9-year-old Zara Hussein is doing chores at home. Like millions of Sudanese children, she had to leave school because her parents could not pay her school fees. In first grade, she was first in class. The girl told the newspapers of her town in her home village of Ed Musa in the east side of Kassala. 2 years later, she even managed to climb to first again, despite the difficult learning conditions, with cracked walls, rickety tables, and often waterless toilets in her school. But in the middle of the third grade, she had to stop everything. She said, "My father didn't have enough money, so he took me out of school." Already during the 30-year dictatorship of Omar al-Bashir, who will be removed from office in 2019 following a popular protest movement, families withdrew their children from school to cope with the economic crisis. And every year, heavy rains destroy schools. This summer, 600 schools were damaged. No meal, no school, they say. Zara knows that she will only return to school if we find money to pay for meals and for school books. On that note, we will suspend moments in current affairs and continue to give you radio according to you. Good morning if you've just joined. This is Moment of Truth.